having people and farms that are committed to trying to figure out what are the best plants that can grow well, that are nutrient dense, that are pretty darn reliable for where we are to begin with. Figuring that out in the first place is a ton of work. Taking those starts and then growing them out year after year, selecting for the ones that deal with the cold of the winter or the heat of the winter, or just the weirdness, the weird wet summers and then the dry summers that we have, and selecting the best from that, it feels like it's just a no-brainer that you're getting things that are just only going to get better and better. You're starting out with things that are excellent for where we live. A lot of seeds are grown in the Pacific Northwest, or in areas that are super even keel, super mild, zone 8, zone 9 spaces, because it's easy to grow those seeds there. And a lot of like the burpees and all these, the big ag seed companies, you're going to get kale, but you're going to get it from a place where it's really easy to grow kale. And so whether it's going to thrive here or not is a big question mark. And so starting with seeds that are at least from the Northeast is a great place. Certified organic is critical, although sometimes if it's like a plant that I really want, I'll take whatever the seeds I can get, and then after a year or two know they're organic because I'm growing them the way I grow them. But these folks start with organic. They commit to open pollinated, which means that when you save seeds from these things, they're going to come at least relatively true to type, or they'll have some variation, but they're not going to unwind into some feral ancestry. And they're going to work out for you because they've been tested here, and that really is important. If you go up the chain of command for a lot of the seed companies and plant companies, you get to Monsanto pretty quickly, and you get to petroleum very quickly, like just big uppercase P petroleum stuff. So seek that out. If you're going to buy seeds from somewhere, look who are they held by. And there are charts for all this stuff, and it's one big upside down tree with Monsanto as the trunk for a lot of these places. So anyway, this is a great local place, and they're really doing amazing work. If you can't find what you need from Fruition Seeds, personally, I love Fedco. They're up in Maine. They've got their, I get a lot of my seeds from there. They're economically really amazing. Like $1 for a pack of seeds, or 90 cents for a pack of seeds.
We can make it cheaper because we do a discounted group order from Fedco.
There you go.
And Victor actually knows the founder of Fedco because the founder of Fedco is a Cortland County native.
Oh, cool.
But again, the seeds are from Maine, right? So they're very,
for the most part.
But if anybody's interested in knowing about the Fedco group discount, just see me. But Judy, I have your seeds.
There you go. Yeah. I'll just throw out a couple other ones that one that I've heard of recently. I have a friend that swears by them. I think it's called Baker's Creek. And they have some really interesting rare and more like antique seeds. I'm sure there's a ton of other great seed places. But I also wanted to mention briefly, since my interest is specifically in trees, shrubs, perennial edibles, things like that, sources to find that stock. I mean, there's me. I am a nursery, and I would love to sell you plants, so you can check me out, but that's fine. There's also locally around here for all your tree needs, twistedtree.net. It's my real dear friend Akiva. He's down in Spencer, so it's probably colder than where most of you garden. And so again, if you only have a community plot, this might not be applicable, but it's just good to know. Really great practices, tons of great selection going on there, etc. But Cummins in Ithaca can get you if you're trying to start an orchard and you want a bunch of varieties of apples, peaches, plums, that kind of stuff, they're great that way. And one other thing that's important here as well, for raised beds, I don't know what the standards are if you're using pressure-treated lumber. I'm hoping most of you are not. No one is. Good. If you are trying to build raised beds that will last a long time, there's maybe there's a black locust mill around here, but in Newfield, there's a place called Locust Lumber Company. that you can search